where the moon lights.
An excellent day for an exorcism.
I'm your number one fan.
Hey up and welcome back to Rate Scary, the horror podcast where we talk about all things that are rate scary. I am your host, I'm Zara, otherwise known as Scary Zara Mary, and today I'm going to be talking about a film that I absolutely love with a person I absolutely love. So I'm going to be digging into a film called Would You Rather, and this fits into my torture horror series. And I'm going to be doing so with a very good friend, a dearly beloved friend of mine, Chuck. He's your movie guy. He's absolutely fantastic. And I think what you'll find from this episode is that we have a really, really great conversation. And we essentially end up talking about everything except the film, but we do delve into the film in some detail. But what I thought I'd do first of all is give you a bit of a rundown of the story, and then I'll introduce you to Chuck.
Given a choice between A or B.
What the hell is this?
Decision-making in its rawest form. Would you rather electrocute yourself?
Oh, no, I see where this is going.
Or
I don't think I can do this here.
15 seconds. Go.
So Would You Rather is about Iris, who is a young woman who is desperately trying to find a way to afford a treatment for her brother Raleigh because he has leukemia, and she is going to try and make money in any way that she possibly can. She has an oncologist treating her brother who is called Dr. Barden, and he introduces Iris to a man called Shepard Lambrick. He is a wealthy philanthropist and he offers her a deal. If she wins a mysterious game at a dinner party hosted by Shepard, he will pay for Raleigh's treatment and use his foundation's influence to find a bone marrow donor. Obviously, Iris agrees to this and she goes to the dinner party and she meets the other contestants. We've got Julian, who is Shepard's son, Lucas, Travis, who is a war veteran, Linda, who is a very elderly woman, Peter, a gambling addict, Amy, Conway, he's an alcoholic, and Cal. And Shepard first of all tries to test their principles by offering money for compromising choices. So for example, Iris reluctantly accepts $10,000 to eat meat despite her being a vegetarian, and Conway accepts $50,000 to drink a whole decanter of Scotch whiskey as a recovering alcoholic. Now once dinner is over, Shepard reveals that the game is a reality version of Would You Rather? The contestants must make difficult choices and the last person standing will win. At this point, Conway tries to leave, but he is shot dead by Bevans, Shepard's butler, demonstrating the seriousness of this game. And the first round involves an electric shock machine and no one is eliminated. Tensions rise at this point, particularly between Travis and Julian as the second round begins, in which each player must choose to stab the person next to them with an ice pick or whip Travis with a shambok, which is an African whip. Iris and Lucas choose to whip Travis out of complete fear, while Peter stabs Linda, resulting in her death. Amy stabs Iris, but thankfully she survives thanks to Lucas's intervention, and Cal then whips Travis until he is completely incapacitated and removed from the game. Amidst all of this chaos, Lucas creates a distraction and everyone except Amy attempts to escape. Cal is then shot and killed during the escape attempt, and Julian tries to rape Iris but is stabbed by her. Dr. Barden, having completely regretted to involve Iris in this situation, tries to save her but he is killed by Bevans, and Iris is brought back to the game and Shepard apologizes for his son's behaviour. The third round presents a choice between being submerged underwater for 2 minutes or picking a task from a deck of cards. Peter's card leads to his death from a heart attack caused by an explosive firecracker which he has to hold, and Lucas slits his own eyeball as required by his card, but he survives. Iris decides not to choose the cards and she chooses the barrel of water instead and she survives, while Amy, who witnessed her husband drown their daughter, pulls a card that doubles the required time to 4 minutes underwater, and she's forced into the barrel without being able to take a breath and drowns after not getting a chance. In the very final round, only Iris and Lucas remain, and Iris is given the choice to either kill Lucas and win the game or spare him, resulting in no reward for either of them. After hesitation, Iris shoots Lucas, winning the game. Shepard declares her the champion, providing her with a huge bag of money to cover Raleigh's treatment, as agreed, and he reveals that a bone marrow donor has already been found for Raleigh in Romania. However, upon returning home, Iris discovers that Raleigh has taken his own life, feeling like a burden to Iris. She realises that the horrific acts she has committed to win the money were all in vain. Overwhelmed with despair, Iris cries for the loss of her brother and meaningless nature of her victory. Hi Chuck, welcome to the Rate Scary podcast. I am absolutely over the moon that I've got you on here because we were chatting a little bit beforehand and I told you just how much I'm in love with you. So thank you so much for coming on.
I'm absolutely honored to be here, and it's like I told you before. I usually say no, but I looked very forward to coming on and having a conversation.
I appreciate that. Do you want to tell people a little bit about you? I know you hate this. I hate this as well. Tell the lovely people what you do and who you are.
I'm Chuck. I'd love to be your movie guy. I do horror movie content, nothing but horror movie content. Unless it's something that I really, really love, I'll put it on my channels. But I like murder and I like horror and I like practical effects and gore and I like to be scared and I love ghosts and I love true crime. And you can just Google Chuck the Movie Guy in any search engine and it comes up. So like I'm real easy to find these days, which I'm humbled and blessed by. I
have two questions for you, which I ask all of my guests for the first time when they come on here. No, you don't need to be worried. Don't worry. I think I know the answer to the first question that I'm going to ask you because you've talked about it online before. So the podcast is called Rate Scary. I'm from Yorkshire in England and rate means very or really. So what is the most rate scary film you've ever seen? What scared you the most?
Poltergeist.
I knew that was the answer.
It's never not going to be Poltergeist. And listen, I will defend Poltergeist till the day that I die because I get a lot of shit. Oh, that's not scary. And I'm like, I have sentimental, traumatic attachment to Poltergeist. Plus, on a side note, if I didn't have that, Poltergeist is legitimately scary. Like, it's a scary fucking movie. And I don't do ghosts. So, like, ghosts are that's the chink in my armor. I could watch people get butchered for hours and the worst inhumane things on stage. That stuff doesn't even faze me. Ghosts get me every time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good answer. I knew that was the answer, but figured I'd ask you anyway. Second question I've got for you, and I'm interested to see your reaction to this and whether you understand the question. Ooh. What you having for your tea tonight?
Say that again?
What are you having for your tea tonight?
What am I having for tea tonight?
Yeah.
I'm going to have Earl Grey tonight. With a little bit and follow it up with some chamomile so I sleep easily. So no, I'm not having tea tonight, but is that what you meant?
So in Yorkshire, where I'm from, tea means your dinner, your evening meal.
Oh, what am I having for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Not actual fucking tea. That's what I get for trying to be smart. What am I having for dinner tonight? What did I take out for the children? Last night we had chicken parm and sausage tortellini last night, which was very good. And tonight, I'm not even 100% sure what we're having tonight.
They're the best nights.
Something for the kids. Yeah, sometimes I like to just my kids, I don't want to say they're picky, but sometimes it's better just winging it with them. You know what I mean? Or I'll just say, hey, what do you guys want? So
what's the mood?
Yeah, what's the mood? Yeah, definitely.
To be fair, I don't know what I'm having for my tea tonight, so I'll be in full wing it mode as well.
You're gonna have one of those fucking sausage things? What are those sausage things called?
Sausage things?
No, them things that you sent me the video of. The
sausage rolls.
Yeah, the things that are like deep fried, the sausage roll things.
Sausage rolls, yes. Yeah. When the day that you come over to the UK, I'm taking you straight to a Greg's. And I'm going to blow your mind with sausage rolls.
I can't wait to go to Greg's someday.
Oh, dear. Well, thank you for indulging me with those couple of questions.
No,
I'm sorry if it threw you off a little bit.
No.
I have invited you on to talk about a film because at the moment on the podcast, I'm going through the torture subgenre. And I saw you post online about a film that I absolutely love. And it gets a lot of hate. And you were very positive about it. And it's Would You Rather.
I love it.
Same. Same, and I don't understand the hate.
I don't even think it has any problems. That's how much I like it. Like, I think it's a little underproduced and has some choppy moments, but like, it's so perfect to me. Like, it's so fucked up. I love it.
Me too. When was the first time you watched it?
Would You Rather is actually something that slipped under my radar, like whenever it first came out, and I caught it probably maybe like a year or two after it came out, but it was an instant, I love this. You know, like anything that puts people in terrible situations and then you see like the real humanity come out of these people and like who they really are. Like, there's a lot of social commentary to Would You Rather that people skip over.
I agree, because I think on the surface, I've talked about this on a lot of my episodes about torture and like torture porn specifically. A lot of people reduce it down to just those torture scenes when actually there's so much more to them. You have really deep social themes that exist within torture films that people just skim over. Like this film is about desperation and what lengths would you go to save a loved one, and putting your own morals under the microscope in these situations. But also
but it's also, you know, it has a little bit of like a theme of like playing God and trying to change fate, not having acceptance of just letting things be what they are, which obviously I'm sure we'll get to that. We know what happens.
Yeah, completely.
Which I love.
Oh, me too. We bloody love a bleak film. Like, considering, I think you and I have bonded a little bit over one of your favorites, which is also one of my favorites, Eden Lake. And that's just another bleak film. Just love to torment ourselves.
I'm now to the point that if people slander it online, I just immediately block them. Block. If my mother came back from the dead and said Eden Lake's terrible, I would block my mother over it. Yep.
Thank you very much, unfriend.
Yep, bye. See ya.
What was your reaction when you first watched it then, aside from loving it? Like, did it leave you with that feeling of emptiness that a bleak film does?
There's certain things that like, excuse me, there's certain things that affect me. You know, like I watch film to feel. You know what I mean? Like I need to feel something, whether that's like humor or love or empathy or whatever it is, but like the feelings of darkness, desperation, the bleaker, the better. Like, you know, like I tell people, they're like, oh, why do you love Eden Lake so much? Like, when I feel down, I feel depressed, I feel like life has nothing left for me. Like, I'll watch that because, like, listen, it could be way fucking worse. Like, and it almost like puts me in a good mood because like it's so dark. And Would You Rather is one of the few movies that did that to me. You know, like Martyrs does that to me, Frontiers, Eden Lake, The Mist.
Yeah.
And Would You Rather it's in that conversation with, in my opinion, with those movies, especially when, you know, it's like, oh, I did all this shit and then I come home and here we go. And I'm like, oh, because up to there, if it wouldn't have did that, no, it ain't going to do that. But then I'm like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? This is, yeah. And I immediately resonated with it. I'm like, plus on the same note, like any director or writer that has the guts in today's Hollywood, or even when that was made, to leave the ending non-Hollywood happy and bleak as fuck, like I just have so much respect for that, because they could have copped it out. They could have just hugged.
It could have been a happy ending.
We're gonna get you to the doctor. No, motherfucker.
Here's your donor.
Yeah, you're dead as fuck. And I was like, Jesus, that's so fucking bleak.
I agree completely. And sometimes, actually, it's only recently I rewatched it after a bit of it's probably a year ago that I watched it before that. And I totally forgot the ending. I just, in my head, I'd focused so much on the torture element and with them all sat around the table that it hit me in the stomach again, rewatching it. Like, oh, fuck. Like, she's done all this for absolutely nothing in the end. Which is just horrendous given how poorly he was, and he's been the driving force between for everything that she's done in this film.
They kind of like it. The last time I rewatched it, which was very recently, because I put video out about it, but they kind of foreshadow that happening. Like, you don't really realize it happening, but like if you really break Would You Rather down to the decisions, like first it starts with them getting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like that is fucking brutal. Like to put a man of morals that made this life-changing fucking decision with, you know, money, so then greed comes into it, or having a better life, or how important was me dedicating my life to this. Like every single person's outcome foreshadowed this is not going to end fucking well. Like there is no happy ending here with these
No.
sick individuals.
No, and like you get it straight away because I think it's Iris, isn't it? She's offered 10K to eat meat, and it's just dipping your toe in the water as to how much are you willing to put your values and your morals to the side.
Right. And then he even says everybody has a price.
Yeah.
What's your
What's your price?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would have you ate that meat for 10 grand if you were a vegan?
I was going to ask you this question. I think if I was vegan, then probably. Like for 10, I think it's important to remember the context of each of the characters, isn't it? And why they're in that situation in the first place.
Absolutely.
You've got to have that desperation, and every single person around that table is desperate for money. There is a reason why they are there, why Shepard has gathered them all there. So I think if I was to put myself in Iris's shoes in that context, then yes, absolutely.
I mean, she's trying to save her brother from dying from fucking cancer. So like 10 grand makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would have been the easiest one.
Well, and we see it get progressively worse. Like I think the decanter of scotch is absolutely horrendous, and I suppose that's why the 50K price tag is on it. But especially he's a recovering alcoholic.
Well, he ups it, so he starts at 10.
Yes, and
10,
he increases.
And 10 wasn't. He went from 10 to 20 to 50, I believe, and it wasn't enough. But like even the way that they zoomed that camera in on that glass, like when he had the bottle, and like they really stuck it to you, like this guy's pain of what he's about to do. Like the levity of that situation was more like her eating the meat and the disgust on her face versus the sheer terror on that man's face, because he knows this turns me into somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I'm literally risking my life. Like the way that was shot really sets up everything to come, because it's like, okay, this is going to be fucked up.
Well, and I think everyone kind of understands from a distance, if you've not got direct experience, an addict's perspective. So whether that is gambling or drugs or alcohol or anything like that, they go a certain number of days without having indulged in whatever their addiction is. And that is a huge thing. And you get tokens for it depending on what your addiction is. So again, it's another representation of all of that work he did to get to that point of sobriety was for nothing, in the same way that Iris has done all of this work throughout the game for nothing. So you're right, there is foreshadowing right from the beginning of the game as to how this is going to end up.
And that's why I don't understand like people that don't like to each their own. You can like whatever you want to like, but like it's so much more than just like this guy invited people there to torture them. You know what I mean? Like I almost wish they would make a sequel.
I agree. And I feel like they set it up perfectly for a sequel as well. Like, or a prequel even. These games have clearly been going on for a while. Iris isn't the first person to take part in it.
Yeah, or they could just have a whole nother group of people or whatever it is, or somehow like just like Amanda got incorporated into Saw, they could say, okay, well now Shepard preys on her because she has nothing left to live for. So now you could be the groomer to get these people in here and like work with us. Like that'd be let's do it. I mean, like, where's the studio? Because I need it.
Get in touch, Chuck. Come on, make that film. Are there any, it's like we've touched on some of those torture methods. Are there any way you go, fuck no, there's no way I would be paid for that, or I would survive that?
Well, there's a lot like saying something and being in that situation is complete. Like all these people online that are saying, 100 guys versus this gorilla. Yeah. Like, okay, you're the toughest guy in the world until that motherfucker next to you gets his head ripped the fuck off. Then you're going to bitch up and leave real quick. I promise you that. So like I haven't drank alcohol in almost 10 years. By personal choice. I don't really participate in anything. I just choose not to do it because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that for 50 grand.
No.
Now you want to put me at a table with this dude in this situation, that pressure's completely different. But on the same note, he didn't know yet what's going to happen to people there.
No.
Like, nobody got fucked up yet.
No.
So he almost had the benefit of like he was the real moral compass. Because
he steered it, didn't he?
He did steer it because everybody after him, it was something bad. You know, the bad shit started to happen. So imagine if like the electroshock thing would have happened before he wanted him to drink. He would have drank it for 10 grand versus 50 after seeing, oh, I might get electrocuted, this, that, or whatever. So he did he methodically broke those people down to lead up to what they wanted to do. So, you know, I could say I wouldn't do that, but like if I'm in fear for my life, like it's a whole different story. Because are you sacrificing your morals if you want to live? Like that's why it's a brilliant movie.
I agree. And like I did an episode where I took some fantastic torture scenes from different films and ranked them as to whether I think I'd go through with it or not, whether I'd fold like a deck chair. And one of the ones from this film where I just said absolutely not is the eyeball slit. And even if I put myself in that situation and the desperation and seeing that I could be killed, there is just nothing that could, like, it's making me blink now. There's nothing that could make me do that.
They could literally have every living member of my family in front of me, and I'm sorry, but they're just all gonna die because like there's no fucking way. Like, could you imagine your eyeball focusing in on pushing that thing near your fucking eye? No. Just I tried to pierce my nose with like a nose piercer at home.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like I know it's not really going to hurt that bad and it has nothing to do with the pain. But like as soon as I get the thing and it like starts breaking the skin, I stop. Like it's a mental thing. Like I just can't fucking do it. Like if somebody else does it, it will do it. So like I'm doing that with a no. There's no fucking way. It's just
instinctive, isn't it? That's why you're stopping when you're trying to pierce your nose. There's a part of your brain that's going, no, that's going to hurt.
It says don't do that, right?
Yeah.
But imagine like your fucking eyeball.
No, I struggle sometimes like putting contacts in for cosplays. So there's no way that I could do that.
I'm just like, I would probably just shoot me. Please.
Yeah, I'm done. I've had a lovely time. I would have liked a better meal, but I'm absolutely done.
Yeah, just shoot me in the head. Get it over with.
I think the one that gets me as well over the eyeball is the underwater. So we see it twice, don't we? So we see Iris do it for 2 minutes, and then I've forgotten her name. Is it Amy?
Yeah, she had to do it for 3.
Draws the double card. Yeah, so
she is my favorite too.
Is she?
The reason that I love her is because when she got that little box and they had that shit strapped on that old lady. Listen, she was just like, fuck it. Fuck this old bitch. And I was like, I love that so much because there was no hesitation whatsoever. She's like, it ain't me. Zap. And I was just like, I love this character because she was the first one to really understand
the game,
what the fuck was going on there. So she's like, fuck all you. You know what I mean? I'm trying to live. You know what I mean? So like that I like respected about that character. And I was actually surprised that they killed her off the way that they did early because I thought she was the strongest other than Iris as a character.
You kind of expect her and Iris to face off at the end over her and the other guy.
Well, I actually, like when I very first saw it, I thought not only maybe they faced off at the end, but I thought maybe these are two bad bitches that are going to flip the fucking tables and come together and fucking run shit, which would have been adding like women's empowerment onto the message of the movie, which would have also been fucking badass. But
someone get this guy a film. Like, just...
we're working on it.
You're working on it. Good. Good. You've got loads of ideas.
We're working on it.
How do you feel about this fitting into the genre of torture? So thinking about some of the other films that fit into it, some that I'm talking about on the podcast, like Saw and Hostel and Martyrs and The Loved Ones and Wolf Creek. How do you feel about where it sits in terms of those other films?
Like if I had to do I think it deserves to be spoken about with those films?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there. Like I like Would You Rather better than every Saw movie except for 1, 2, and 10.
Okay.
And
That's fair.
and maybe when they because they're releasing Spiral for the anniversary, but Bousman's getting the director's cut released, and he said it's a whole different fucking movie, and it's gnarly as fuck. So like, I'll judge that one next. So I like it better than that whole bunch of middle Saw movies. I like it way better than Hostel 1 and 2 because I think both those movies suck.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to them. You know what I mean? Like there's
no
to
substance to them.
them. Martyrs is like the king of movies. Nothing can really be better than that. Although I do prefer Eden Lake to Martyrs.
Yeah, fair.
Just because it's like, I think that why can't I think of, I love her so much. I can't think of her name. But not only Fassbender, but Katie Riley.
Okay.
That performance of just being terrified and being at your, the desperation of survival. Like she'll never do that again. Like she nailed that. And that's what sells that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like, that's why I put it above those other things. That's just a really special movie to me for some reason. Like, but yeah, I think Would You Rather like 100% deserves to be, and there's another one too. And I don't know if you've seen it, that I've seen them relatively close together and I love them both. And it's another one that gets shit on, and it's Don't Hang Up. Have you seen Don't Hang Up?
I haven't. No, tell me about that.
Listen, Don't Hang Up is about these two dickhead kids that you're not supposed to like. They're like jocks from school. They're assholes and they prank call people, and they like do fucked up prank calls, like calling people to say like their kids in the hospital, like real fucked up shit. And they think it's hilarious. But then they get a call that they think is a prank, somebody pranking them, that says, like, listen, don't hang up the phone. And they're like, they hang up once. And then whenever they answer again, the TV comes on and it's like their parents tied up or their family, like people that they fucking love. And it turns into this game. And it has, I don't want to say anything about it, but like the last third of the movie, if anybody ever says I seen that coming or I knew that was going to happen, you're full of fucking shit, because it flipped me upside down on my head. And it's a brutal ass, mean-spirited, hopeless, bleak fucking movie. And it belongs in the conversation. Like, I fucking love that movie. You will love that movie. It's so good.
I'm going to look that up this evening, because I was going to ask you, like, what are some films that you would compare to Would You Rather? So that's a great one.
That's 100% would be my answer 100 times out of 100. And it probably has like a 4.8 on IMDb. Like, people shit on it. And it's fucking fantastic.
I think people do tend to shit on these sort of films anyway. Like, I looked Would You Rather up on Letterboxd and it's got a 2.6 rating.
Does it really?
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
Stop this nonsense.
And I was really surprised by some people that I follow, that I'm mutuals with, had rated it like 1, 1.5, 2. And I'm like, this is a fucking minimum 4-star movie.
Don't Hang Up has a 2.3 on Letterboxd. And
what?
that's a heavy 4-star for me. Easily. Yeah, most people gave it like 2.5, and I couldn't disagree with that more. I fucking love it.
Oh,
it's
well,
so
I know what I'm going to watch this evening. So, excellent. Thank you for adding to my watch list on Letterboxd.
It has a 5.6 out of 17,000 votes on IMDb. So that 2.3 isn't true. Because a 5.6 to me is a good horror movie.
Yeah, are we going to say for a horror film that's a decent rating?
Yeah, well, because people shit on, like there's people that don't love horror that just shit on horror movies, like, which is, we could do a whole episode about, like, you got these film talkers that think they're cinephiles that don't like horror movies, and then they shit on them. Like, just don't watch horror movies because you already don't fucking like them.
Or, more annoying, a fantastic horror film, like we're going to go down a path here, like Sinners, comes out, 5 stars across the board, and then you get people saying, yeah, but it's not really a horror. No, fuck off. This is a horror. Stop trying to make it not horror because you shit on horror.
Well, even if it didn't have vampires, then it's still a fucking horror movie because it's about one of the most horrific things that's ever happened in fucking life.
100%.
That's horror.
100%. Just because you don't get the cultural references and you don't have the foresight and empathy to put yourself in the shoes of another, it might not be horrific to you, but surely you can appreciate that it is horrific to someone.
Yeah.
That fucks me off.
And people that don't like horror, they judge horror from a very surface level. They don't respect it enough to say, hey, this is one of the best mediums to talk about the most important things in the world, from Night of the Living Dead being about fucking civil rights all the way on through history of horror movies. And there's so many people that just like, oh, well, this was just a guy chopping some people up, or like people that watch fucking Trauma and they say, oh, I don't like Trauma, but is it about something? You're fucking right. It's about something. You know what I mean? Like, it's about the Chilean fucking government. Like, and I believe that. I don't care for it, but like, that's their expression. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know.
Well, and that's why I was so conscious to cover torture on my podcast, because like I said to you, people boil it down to pure torture scenes. And yes, some torture films like Hostel are just that. They're just splatter and people wanting to enjoy degradation and breakdown of a person. But actually, if you put it into the context of how they came about, it's immediately after 9/11. Like, people had seen these horrific things on TV, and there is a connection between that happening and torture films popping up. Like, suddenly something twigged in people's brains and they wanted more horrific things to be on their TV screens in their cinemas. And then after about 10 years, people kind of got bored of it and moved into things like Insidious and Conjuring.
Right.
So, like, it annoys me when people boil stuff down to, oh, horror's just horror. But I think it's just dumb.
I think that the torture movies overstayed their welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not that they overstayed their welcome, but it was like everything else. Like Friday the 13th started out as something serious, and then you got Jason Goes to fucking hell. You know what I mean? These just movies that are fucking stupid as fuck. Yeah. And Halloween did the same thing. You know what I mean? You go from he's this fucking ferocious killing machine to Busta Rhymes beats his ass. Like, get the fuck out of here. Then the torture stuff turned into people cash grabbing just to do the biggest, like, just like Terrifier's turning into the biggest, most brutal kill. There's no substance to it, so it ruins it. Same with found footage. You started out with brilliant fucking movies like Quarantine, Wreck, Chronicle, fucking Blair Witch Project. Like, they're fucking fantastic Paranormal Activity, scary movies. But then everybody with $4,000 in a camera
started doing them.
Well, they oversaturate the market, so all the shit that comes out, everything gets, the bad apples crush the whole bunch because they're like, oh, I've seen so many shitty ones, this can't be good. And then people rate it like not on an individual basis. And that's what happened with the torture stuff.
Yep. And I think horror is very much like fashion. It goes round in cycles depending on whatever is going on in society at the time. So, like, we're seeing a bit of a rejuvenation of the slasher genre at the moment. There's a few more slashers coming out this year than there has been previous years. And I haven't quite made the connection yet in terms of, we know everything that's going on in society at the moment, but I just wonder if there's a reason why we're seeing slashers again over any other films.
I don't know, but I'm happy that they're fucking making them, and they're making pretty making pretty decent ones, and ones that surprise. Like Hell of a Summer, I didn't think was good, but I loved Hard Eyes, and I think Prom Queen's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited for Prom Queen.
Look in when you get off, search what's going on in. I'm getting ready to make a video about it, but up in New England, like area, like Massachusetts, over the last couple of weeks, they found 9 bodies within like a 3-mile radius of each other.
About this.
They can't identify or whatever, and they're denying it. There's not enough evidence to say it's a serial killer, this, that, or whatever. But like, it got serial killer. I watch enough true crime; it got a fucking serial killer written all over it.
I can 100% see you at some point. I'm mutuals with Body Moving from Don't Fuck With Cats on TikTok. I can totally see you popping up at some point in some like Netflix true crime documentary through some of your TikToks that you posted and you've solved a crime.
I love the true crime.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same as it scratches the same itch as horror does. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like there's all these other facets of society of like, I'm so fascinated, but like, why do people eat people? Like, why the fuck did you eat your girlfriend? Like, I want to know that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so fascinated with like Ed Kemper and, you know, like, why like these people like do fucked up things, but they're so important to society because society can learn, you know, because I'm a big mental health advocate. Like, something had to go wrong somewhere that somebody missed. And like, maybe someday they could figure it out. So it's like the cycle of life. And it's fascinating. It's so fascinating to me.
I listened to a podcast. We're going well off on a tangent here, but I'm perfectly happy with it. I listened to a podcast that's all about serial killers, but they split the conversation over 2-hour-long episodes. And the first part is kind of the childhood of this particular serial killer and what are some of the things that contributed to their upbringing and being the person that they are. And it delves into the psychology. So that first hour is all about the psychology. And then the second episode is more about the killings. They try not to go too heavy on the killings because that kind of glamorizes the person a little bit, which is why I listen to it, because I don't like that glamorization of serial killers.
Well, I'm a liar.
But then they talk about like what then happened, like what was the public reaction to it, what was the media reaction to it. So I like that it builds in those other things, because I think a lot of time true crime podcasts and reporters can focus purely on just whatever has happened in the moment and forget about what led up to it, which is the bit that I'm interested in. But that's because I work in HR and I like understanding how people tick. So
yeah, that's what I want to like. I want to know like why. You know, was it a chemical imbalance? Were they abused when they were young? Most of them are attitude reflecting
head traumas usually.
The way they're brought up, and you know, it's just like there's people that wake up one day and they fucking smother their kids and fucking walk down the street. You know what I mean? Like, what makes a fucking person do that? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but I don't like the glamorization neither. And I think Netflix really teeters on the edge of exploitation with their shows. Like they really like the Dahmer.
The Ryan Murphy ones. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I like them. Like I'll watch them. Like
same.
Ryan Murphy's almost a selling point for me because I know it's at least going to be entertaining. But he really pushes the fucking envelope. Like it's an exploitation. This has nothing to do with Would You Rather.
No, but it's a good conversation.
I guess we would have rather talked about true crime, but that's
Clearly.
fine. So, still a good movie. Watch it.
Still a fantastic film.
Yes.
If you, going back to Would You Rather, if you were going to try and sell it to someone to get them to watch it, what would you be telling them?
I would say if you want to watch one of the bleakest, most hopeless fucking movies ever made, watch Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Like if you want to be stunned and not have any idea what's going to happen or how it's going to turn out, like, but people that ask me for movies, like people rarely ask me like, what's your favorite comedy? You know what I mean? So like if somebody's asking me, like if somebody's saying like, I want something bleak and hopeless, I got that list for you and it's on that list and it deserves to be on. I'll defend the fuck out of that movie because it's so goddamn good.
Same. And I was fully prepared to come on this podcast on my own and die on this hill alone. And then when I saw you post, I was like, yes, another Would You Rather truther. So that's why I brought you on, just for company.
And there's more of us. Justin Slasher Talk fucking loves it too. He think like it's like, you know, in his top 50 movies of all time. You know,
really?
Like,
okay.
And it deserves to fucking be. But we also both love Tusk too, and everybody fucking hates.
I love Tusk.
I know everybody fucking hates Tusk, and I'm like, it's a fucking masterpiece. How can you hate this fucking movie? That deserves to be in that list with Eden Lake Murders and everything too. Tusk should be in that space.
And Tusk deserves a sequel as well, or a prequel. Like we need more of that shit.
Listen, I'm gonna see Kevin Smith in June because I got invited to this Dogma thing because Dogma's coming back to theaters. But since they filmed a lot of it in Pittsburgh, he's coming to the event in Pittsburgh. Affleck's supposed to come too, and Damon. I don't know if they're coming. I could care less about. I don't have questions for Damon and Ben Affleck. I do have a question for Kevin Smith, and it got nothing to do with Dogma because I'm going to ask him where the fuck is Tusk Part 2.
What is wrong with you?
That's right. That's all I want to know. Is like I want Tusk Part 2.
What is wrong with you, and why did you put poor Justin Long through another traumatic event that clearly had a lasting effect on him to go and create fur babies afterwards? So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so funny.
Is there anything else that you want to mention about Would You Rather, like to get across to people why they should go and watch it and why it's bleak as fuck?
If you haven't seen I have two phases of this. If you haven't seen Would You Rather and you want to see a very unpredictable, bleak film with deep commentary, it scratches that itch. And if you have seen it before and you didn't like it, I would urge you to rewatch it to get the layers of what it's about, because it's not just a torture movie. Like, it's not a guy, because he's a perplexing character as well. Because is he a villain? Is he the villain? Is he a terrible human being because he wants to put these people through it? Because he's also like the devil and Jesus at the same time. Like, he wants to condemn people and put them through the worst thing ever, but he wants to do that in the name of changing somebody's life. So, like, he's a perplexing fucking morally fucked up character, which he has a lot of depth.
I'd argue that he's less of a villain than Jigsaw is, because Jigsaw puts these people through these horrendous traps in order for them to appreciate their life. But at least Shepard does it so they appreciate their life and they get some cash to sort out their life at the same time. Like, that's my view.
I mean, Jigsaw, like, if they live, which it's not set for them to live, but if they do, like, he's given them a new lease on life to appreciate their life. Just nobody ever survives. Like, I don't know if they were ever supposed to survive, and nobody will answer that question. Bailey asked the Jigglysaw girl. She asked Darren when we talked to him in New Orleans that exact question. Like, like, were people ever,
supposed to
supposed to, you know what I mean? And like, no, they won't touch it. There was like 5 questions he wouldn't touch. Like,
interesting.
Wasn't given answers to it. So because Saw 11 is dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you can book that. It's dead. He said it's so fucked. There's so many hands in it that they can't decide what they want to do. Like, you're not seeing that for years.
And people just completely disagreeing on the direction that it's going to go in. So they're probably just going to sell it off, aren't they?
No, he's too much money.
Really?
No, they're either going to come to an agreement, something, but nobody's selling that. They'd be dumb to sell it. But that's why he's going to capitalize, because he's fighting now for the Spiral director's cut.
Yeah.
So since that got canceled, people are going to be salivating for Saw. He'll get to drop that, which I'm good for him, because I think his entry is the best of the fucking series. I love 1, but 2 is just two is like, this is what's really going to fucking happen here. You know what I mean?
2 is my favorite. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about 2 upon rewatch is the big muscular guy is kind of like, he's
Xavier.
He's like really wooden and cheesy now.
Yeah.
But it's just such a fucked up movie. I love that movie so much.
Needle Pit, man. Like, that sticks in my brain.
He's sending me a needle.
Ugh, I want to see pictures of it when it arrives.
I can't wait to put it up on my fucking wall. That's like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, please send me a needle. He's like, done.
My sister is now a Saw fan. She's not a horror fan. My sister Molly got into Saw because she was asking me, she wanted to come and support me at some of the events that I go to, so that then I've got someone there to record some content and stuff like that. So I brought her along to a couple of events, and she's got the bug for horror now. So I told her, if you're going to start anywhere, start with the Saw films, because I know that she's cool with gore and shit like that. And she remembered from when I very first watched Saw 2 what my reaction was from the needle pit, and she wasn't even watching the film. She only saw my reaction. So, like, it stuck with me for years, and I still flinch watching that entire scene.
And still to this day, all those films, that's one of the gnarliest things that happened to anybody, because it's like not the most graphic or anything. And that's the stuff that gets me. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine and feel all that prickling and like the shattering and all that. Like, that's
breaking your hands through it.
Yeah, rip. I mean, you could rip my foot. At least when you're sitting in something and you know your fucking head's going to get ripped in fucking half. Like, you kind of, or your chest is going to, like what happened to Carrie. Like, you know that's going to fucking happen. So it's like you're just sitting there waiting for it. You're not going through this excruciating puncture wounds trying to dig through. Like, that shit is fucking. That's like that. The needle pit is would you rather's. Here we're coming full circle. The needle pit is would you rather's eye slash.
Eyeball slit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. I totally get that. 100%. Yep. Good.
That's awesome.
Anything else that you want to mention about Would You Rather and how fucking fantastic it is and how it should have a higher rating?
I think if you want to have the best Saturday night ever and you want to Netflix and chill or whatever you want to do, or if you're on the solo tip, you should fucking turn all your lights out. And not only should you watch Would You Rather, but you should follow it up and do a double feature and do Would You Rather immediately into Don't Hang Up.
Listen, I am going to go away and watch Don't Hang Up this evening.
I hope you... listen, please. I know you'll be honest. Like, if you hate it, you hate it.
Yeah, I'm always honest with you. When, like, we disagree on films. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't like, and that's what I was so pleased that I'd seen you post about Would You Rather and that you loved it. The fact that we aligned on it. So
it's so good, and I think it's very healthy to not like all the same shit. Like, it's just it's just. And there's people that like that irks me because there's so many people. It's like, oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. No, you loved it because you could tag fucking Hulu. Like, you didn't like this piece of shit fucking movie. Get the fuck out of here. You're gonna have to shut me up, or I'll start dropping names on air.
Listen, we'll have a conversation off recording because I'll do the same, love. Do you want to let people know where they can go and find you online? Give them a reminder. Go and follow.
I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. TikTok is at Charlie Napalm 2. Instagram is at @yourmovie_guy. I also am 1/4 of the Dark Screen Society podcast, which you can find on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anything like that. I'm everywhere. Look, you can find me. I'm everywhere. So if you need to find me, find me. But more importantly, you should support this wonderful podcast, and you should download the episodes, and you should save the episodes, and you should listen to them, and you should rate them 5 stars, whether you listen to it or not, because that helps her.
Thank you. You've done that bit for me. And if people want to come and follow me online, it's at Rate Scary on Instagram and YouTube, and at Scary Zara Mary on pretty much every other fucking platform that exists. So I'm not even going to list them all. But I just want to say thank you again so much, Chuck. I know you were happy to do this, but I appreciate it so, so much. And I feel like it's been such a good conversation. We had a great chat beforehand as well. And if you ever want to come back on, you are most welcome.
Anytime.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
I'll be right back.
Game over. It's all for you.
Beware the moonlights.
An excellent day for an exorcism.
I'm your #1 fan.